What's going on YouTube? Enigma Garage is here. Not much has changed. I mean, I pulled some cams out to get them sent off to get some custom cams, but CRZ got totaled 2 days after I finished the turbo kit. I got rear-ended, did $6,000 worth of damage, and I haven't been able to do much except for like just rewire some stuff. Sucks. Physical therapy sucks. So I really can't do much. So I'm just doing little things, which I started getting a whole bunch of connectors, redoing some harnesses. I learned how to do some really clean wiring, and that is a TPU joint, so that's 3D printed. New harness, working on the fuel tech stuff, and I put a couple posts on TikTok and Instagram, and iCrimp reached out to me and said, hey, we see what you're doing, we want to help out. So obviously I was using this already. I love this thing for doing the terminals for those 47 pins. So I was like, yeah, send me some stuff for connectors, terminals, and I bought this one myself off of Amazon. I had this for a while, so I was like, oh, let me just get the kit with all the extensions or accessories. And then of course, when they reached out, I got this one, which you have to take screws out to change this one. All you have to do with this one is just pull it out, put the new one in, you're done. So I'm going to do a few crimps back and forth between these two right here, see the difference. I did get some battery stuff going, but I'm going to review these, which I did need some bigger ones also, because I do have the DP bigger connectors other than the DTMs, so I will need that. And it's got some really nice, what is this right here? So that goes over the insulation, which I was using that connector for. So we'll see how much better this works, or this one, depending on the size of the wire. And the D-pin holes that are metal instead of the plastic ones, because I've already broken 2 of the plastic ones. So I can't wait to use this. It just sucks I already did the 47 pin. Ordered some wiring from Monkey Fab. Give them some business. And been working on the wiring back here, which that is an Evo X power distribution block, which should work out absolutely perfectly. I redid the battery cables and did a ground over here to the block, which I'll be changing all this because this is a really nice 12-pin block that'll hold 200 amps from Monkey Fab. So eventually I'm going to get rid of this and have an actual fuse block in here. And these are BMW relays, which I think they'll do 150 amps each. So one will be for the fuel pump, one will be for A side, one will be for B side. B side will be RPM activated, which will be the coils, the injectors, boost control, things that don't need to be on until the engine is running. Oil pump, scavenge pump will be on that. But I already have it where I can turn this on, and the fuel tech, I moved the MR2 fuel tech over here to the RX8, so it does turn on. A whole bunch of wirings going on. Need to clean that up, but hopefully in this video I turn the car over on fuel tech. So we'll go through everything little by little and do a nice review of these tools that were gifted to me and compare them to what I've already owned. My back already hurts leaning over the car. This is fun, really fun. Alright, let's get to it. So another side quest in the 3 months that I've been recovering, I got a CNC machine and have been playing around and learning how to mill things. And I will be making intake manifolds for the CRZ and exhaust manifolds when my back is better. So I'm just using this opportunity to practice. It's been working out pretty good for right now, just learning feeds and speeds. That is a lot to learn, but I still will be making kits. I have not thrown anything away. I still have all the stainless. I still have the turbo over here. Just need to get to it. Need to heal to get to it. But so it's still in the plan. And I did get my business license and LLC started so I can actually sell them. Over here with the wiring harness, we have the 47 pin that I had over in the Kia when I had that one built. Of course, I have the one that started over in the MR2. But again, once again, TPU corner joints, the breakouts, everything's heat shrunk. Nice, beautiful wire covering, which I do have a few rolls of it over here. I do need to change over the fuel pump to these two, the bulkhead fittings, because I almost burnt up, squirrel, the fuel pump. Or not the fuel pump, but the wiring. So I thought 12 gauge would have been fine. It was in fact not fine. As you can see, it was starting to burn the ground. So I'm going to get rid of this style. I did move the content sensor in here to make wiring up front a little bit easier. Yeah, I need to take that out. Do the bulkheads. Cannot believe I almost burned up that wire. It's wild. Do I have it right here? Oh, it's right over there. Yeah, it was getting a little hot. Getting a little hot. So we're going to make things a lot better. TXL wiring from Monkey Fab. 14 gauge for the coils and injectors. And then we're going to have the 10 gauge TXL going to the one fuel pump. Get rid of these janky relays that I had in the trunk. Because, yeah, that was sketch. Going to a nice fuse panel. And I do everything mapped out up here. So we're going to have A side, B side, and fuel pump. So everything should have its own fuse right up here. And these are 30-40 bucks off of eBay. These are 25 bucks off of eBay. These BMW solenoids, which give you the part number right there if you want to pause it. And the connectors. I bought the connector kit for 10 bucks. It came with 10 of these, and they go right into the solenoids. I have that one grounded. If I hit this one right onto the power, it will turn the fuel tech on. I also made a new ground strap out of 1/0 up to the strut tower, and then I have the secondary one going from the strut tower down here to the frame rail. On 11 volts, this thing turns over really fast, way better than it used to. So you definitely need some good grounds. And I did get rid of the ground that went from the block all the way to the battery, so it is just that ground, and then the one in the trunk that goes over to the strut tower. So once again, don't do the copper coated aluminum wire. Make sure you use nice welding wire. 1/0, I got some good connectors, and I did put those connectors on with this that I bought from Amazon. It works phenomenally. Of course, got some heat shrink, but if you're doing anything over 4 gauge or 6 gauge, I recommend it. It was 30 bucks. Get one of these. Makes your life so easy. I also did get some clear heat shrink and a label maker. So hopefully I can label the harness and label everything back here. I'm going to try to make it look like a professional harness once I get rid of this block back here. I just want to make sure the car runs, get everything situated. Then I'm going to redo this. I'm going to keep the solid state relays. I'm going to start using the ground block instead of the ground area up here, which just is grounded directly up to the battery. And then that is where my ground goes for the 1/0 up to the battery terminal. Battery's been hooked up for 2-3 weeks now. Has not drained the battery. So I figured out what was going on. You're not supposed to have the alternator hooked up directly to the battery. The alternator needs to be hooked up when it's a key on source, or the alternator will drain your freaking battery. Fun fact. So I'll see if there's any other updates I can give you real quick, then we'll get to the next thing. I did get the new Snapmaker U1 3D printer, multi-heads. So I can do all types of different filament, add that to the collection, try to make some better car parts. And I've really been itching to use this, but it's too heavy for me to move. Welding positioner, I did test it out and plug it in, works fine. Can't wait to make some better welds with this. All right, let's do a little test. I got some connectors. I'm gonna do this side with the old tool that I bought off Amazon. Then we'll do the right side over here with the iCrimp tools. We'll see how that comes out. Okay, so right off the rip, you see this side goes all the way past the edge, and it is a full bar that goes all the way to just about the end of the connector. And then we have this side over here, the Amazon one. It barely goes to the end of this side, and it's only half as long. So it's not even over the end of the connector on both sides. Let's give it a crimp. Alright, so it's crimped. You can see the wire just passed. I wish it was a little bit further, but we'll do the tug test. It is not going anywhere, and I was definitely putting some pressure on it. It's on there. Alright, I'm going to try to get this one positioned where it needs to be with both hands. Give it a little bit of a cheating fight, and this one is way harder to crimp all the way down. Oh my god, that was a ton of force needed, not nearly as much leverage, and it's not even uniformly crimped. Let's see. I mean, it's holding. It does hold. It looks like crap on that crimp though, but it is holding. I'll give it that. See, I don't know. Let's switch sides. Oh yeah, that crimp is way tighter. And it was easier. So the leverage you're getting from this angle compared to this one was way easier to do single-handed. It took both hands to crimp this side. So, definitely in favor of this one already. Which, that does suck because I bought that out of my own pocket. I could have had it for free. And the one I've been using, I mean, I might still use it just for those ECU terminals or something. I don't know. You can tell how worn that one is compared to the brand new one. I've had it for a while. Since the first harness of the RX8, I think I've had that one and these up here. So they're a little worn, a little discolored. So we'll get to the comparison of these two here in just a few. But right now, yeah, those are, I'm probably going to put them up for sale on Marketplace now. And I'm just going to keep this set. And for the example, I mean, these are just going to go into a drawer now, into the abyss. The quick change on these, it's so freaking easy. Open that up, and you pull. That's it. Put it on, click, you're done. That easy. Instead of fiddling with screws, taking screws out, just to switch over to a different style, which I have all of these connections in this pack. Yeah, so much easier. All right, we have the head swapped out to the dual style. We get it set up over here. Okay, I've got it set up, and I'm going to try to single-handed crimp it like I did the other one. That's not happening. Okay, that was extremely tough. Okay, looks a little bit better. Tug test works. I mean, it worked pretty solidly, not gonna lie. But trying to change out the head of it over there with the Phillips head, well, I can just snatch it off, and the leverage sucks. I can do that one with one hand. This one still wins. easily. Oh, this video is taking so long because my back hurts. Okay, so we have the ground for the solenoid already plugged in, or screwed in. We got the lead over here for the fuel pump. That's going to be the trigger. And actually, that's backwards. I'm a Riri. It needs power, and then it's ground switched. Ha! Okay, gotta redo that. But yeah, I have the power going over here to the terminal. So if the main fuse blows, it's going to kill the fuel pump and the starter. So if the starter's not working and the fuel pump's not working, I know I need a new main. So I gotta fix this. Well, I guess I could just drop that connector over to this one. Extend that, should be fine. But yeah, ground switched from an ECU. And now we have the solenoid with a ground trigger, hot going over to a fuse just for the relay. We have the fuel pump wire. We have the power for the fuel pump going over here to the fuse. It's coming along nicely. I need to wire the B-side relay next and start running the coil pack, injector powers, grounds, everything to the front of the car. I might be able to start this thing. Nope, I gotta run a wire to the starter relay from the fuel tech. Have to do that. Yep, gotta do that still. Alright, I've been working on the injectors and coils. I have the left and right bank and the injector power for all 8, which should be plenty sufficient for 14 gauge. I did go back to these to crimp on these open barrel splices. The other brand, I could pull the wires out. It did not pass the tug test, even going down to the smallest area there were on those pliers. So yeah, for open barrels, that will be my tool. Here are some inputs that I still need to hook up, and also a couple other wires, which is the alternator 12 volts, the 12 volts to the sensors on the engine, and I don't remember what that goes to, so I need to grab the laptop, and then I can run these through the center console with everything else. Keep going. Yes, it's already dark outside. Been on this all day. Do not move the quickest. My back is absolutely on fire. I do as much as I can, and I ordered way too much wire, I found out. But, so we found out the crimpers that I do like and don't like. I just wanted to get a video out there for everybody. I still need to work on the douche connectors. Definitely need to do the high power ones. Because right now they're just going straight here to the fuse block. I do want to put connectors on that so I can take it apart, put it back together. Showed you these. Yeah, I might just call this a short video. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done tomorrow, but I definitely wanted to get a video out there and kind of update what I've been trying to do, even though I've been hurt, which I'm still driving the car. Still driving the car, but yeah, it is totaled. And hopefully we'll get some flanges made here soon from Fusion. And hopefully start this RX8 again. But once I'm done with that, starting it, I gotta pull the transmission, swap in the CD09. Yeah, fun times. Alright guys, thanks for watching and being patient with me. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.